She was just trying to get home. Nothing unusual, nothing dramatic, just another quiet night, another walk through streets she thought she understood. But within minutes, everything shifted. The air felt heavier, the silence sharper, and the presence around her suddenly carried weight. What began as an ordinary moment turned into something far more unsettling. The kind of moment that exposes how quickly a person can be judged, cornered, and reduced to a threat without a single word spoken. And what happened next would force everyone watching to confront an uncomfortable truth: how fragile safety can be when suspicion comes first. Before that night, her life moved in quiet, predictable rhythms. Early mornings, long workdays, short walks home under familiar streetlights. She kept her head down, focused on building something steady for herself: stability, safety, a sense of belonging in a city that didn't always feel like it welcomed her. Friends described her as calm, responsible, someone who avoided trouble and stayed out of the spotlight. She knew how to navigate the world carefully. The subtle stares in stores, the extra caution in her voice during conversations, the constant awareness that being misunderstood could carry consequences. None of it was new. It was simply part of moving through spaces where she was often seen before she was heard. That evening felt no different at first. The air was cool, the street quiet, and her mind drifted between exhaustion and the comfort of routine. She walked the path she always took, steps steady, attention fixed on getting home. But not everything around her was as ordinary as it seemed. A patrol car rolled slowly down the street, then another. Their presence lingered longer than usual, like they were waiting for something or someone. She noticed the shift in atmosphere before she fully understood it. The silence grew heavier, the street suddenly too still. And in that moment, without warning, her routine was about to collide with suspicion, setting in motion a chain of events she could never have prepared for. The car stopped. Doors opened. The sound alone sent a sharp pulse of fear through her chest. She slowed, unsure whether to keep walking or stand still. Their eyes locked onto her before a single step was taken in her direction. Focused, intent, watching. The distance between them shrank quickly. Her mind raced through every possibility. Had something happened nearby? Were they looking for someone? Was she in the wrong place at the wrong time? But the way they moved, calculated, cautious, tense, made it clear this wasn't random. She felt it before anything was said. That familiar, sinking feeling of being singled out. Not because of what she had done, but because of what they believed they saw. The street, once quiet, now felt like a stage. Lights flashing, shadows stretching, the night pressing in around her. Every movement suddenly mattered. Every breath felt louder. Her body stiffened, instincts pulling her between fear and self-control. Move too quickly, and it could escalate. Move too slowly, and suspicion might deepen. The weight of that balance settled heavily on her shoulders. People nearby began to notice. Curtains shifted. A passerby slowed. The energy in the air thickened as tension built. Time stretched. The presence of authority closed in, step by step, creating a silent pressure that felt impossible to escape. The kind of pressure that turns ordinary people into headlines in a matter of seconds. And as the moment tightened, one thought cut through the noise in her mind: this could go wrong. Very wrong. The tension reached its breaking point in a heartbeat. The flashing lights painted the street in sharp bursts of red and blue, each pulse intensifying the fear in her chest. The space around her felt smaller, controlled, charged with uncertainty. Every second carried the threat of escalation, the possibility that one misread movement could change everything. Her heart pounded so loudly it drowned out everything else. The world narrowed to the moment in front of her, the watchful stares, the rigid posture, the overwhelming sense that she was being evaluated, judged, and contained all at once. This wasn't just an encounter anymore. It was a confrontation shaped by perception and power. Her breathing grew shallow. Her thoughts blurred between fear and disbelief. How had a simple walk turned into this? How had her presence alone triggered such intensity? The possibility of things spiraling out of control hung in the air, heavy and undeniable. The kind of moment people replay later, wondering what could have been done differently, even when they had done nothing wrong. Around them, the world paused. The night held its breath, and in that fragile, terrifying space between calm and chaos, it became painfully clear This situation had never been about safety. It was about assumption. What happened next would determine everything. The moment finally broke, but not the way anyone expected. The tension eased just enough for reality to settle back in. The officers stepped away, their posture loosening, their certainty fading. What had felt seconds away from spiraling into something irreversible slowly dissolved into silence, flashing lights still cutting through the night. She was left standing there, breathing hard, heart still racing, trying to process what had just happened. Nothing physical had been taken from her. No wounds, no bruises. But the impact ran deeper than anything visible. The fear lingered. The humiliation lingered. The realization lingered most of all that her safety could vanish in an instant, simply because of how she was seen. When she finally walked away, the street felt different. Familiar, yet heavy. Every passing car, every distant siren, every glance from a stranger carried new weight. The world hadn't changed, but she had. The sense of normalcy she once held on to had been replaced by caution, by awareness, by a quiet understanding that moments like this happen every day to people who look like her. And that's the truth this story leaves behind. It wasn't just one encounter. It wasn't just one night. It was part of a pattern that repeats in different cities, different streets, different lives. A reminder that injustice doesn't always end in headlines. It often lives in the silent aftermath, in the fear people carry home with them. She survived the moment, but survival isn't the same as justice. So the question remains, how many more ordinary nights must turn into moments of fear before the world stops seeing suspicion first and humanity second?